InfoHub recap for the week July 2 to July 5. Two public school students secure top spot at NGSA. President and opposition leader engage in cordial talks. And ministerial team meets with residents of East Coast Demerara communities. Stay with us as we take a look at these and other major stories which made headlines this week.
The future of Guyana has never looked better. Our nation is on the cusp of a development program like never seen before. While Guyana is now emerging as an energy giant through the discovery of massive reserves of oil and natural gas, it is your government's intention that the huge benefits emerging from this will go where it matters most, to you, the people of this beloved country. There is a surge of confidence in the way Guyana is governed once again, and the level of investor interest is unprecedented. Guyana is poised to become the breadbasket of the region, and the pace at which this nation will grow through prudent fiscal management will be nothing short of impressive. But more than anything else will be the way every Guyanese, regardless of color, class, or creed, becomes a part of this historic period of national transformation, sharing in the wealth and well-being of it all as one Guyana.
First up, on Thursday, President David Granger and opposition leader Barrett Jagdeo met for a high-level discussion on the list of nominees for the position of chairman of the Guyana Elections Commission.
There were several issues on the agenda, but the main issue was to seek agreement on the means to be adopted for the nomination and appointment of the chairman of the Elections Commission.
That meeting between His Excellency President David Granger and opposition leader Dr. Barrett Jagdeo lasted for just about 1 hour. The contingent with the opposition leader included Bishop One Ejel Anil Nandalal, Irfan Ali, and Ms. Gail Teixeira.
We feel that unless and until the chairman is appointed, the work of the commission will not be able to move ahead as quickly as possible. Earlier in the year, as you know, we made it clear that we were interested in credible elections, but we at the same time wanted to make sure that we operated on the basis of advice by the chairman of the commission itself.
His Excellency said that everything is being done to ensure that the ruling of the CCJ is followed.
We are bound by the Constitution, Article 161, and there has been no variation from our position or the opposition position on the validity of that article. We are also bound now by the interpretation of the Caribbean Court of Justice, which has spoken twice on the issue of elections. And it was really in obedience to the last injunction by that court that I decided to meet the leader of the opposition to decide on a way forward.
Both sides are expected to meet in the shortest possible time. Here is the Director General of the Ministry of the Presidency, Joseph Harmon, explaining.
The meeting agreed that the process will be completed within the shortest possible time. In fact, the President indicated that he would like this process to be completed within days. So what that means is that the two sides will have to be engaged in what the CCJ call hammering out the names of persons to arrive at a list of 6, which the leader of the opposition will present to His Excellency, and from which he will choose one person to be named the chairman of the Elections Commission.
As stated by Director General Joseph Harmon, both sides will meet again very soon. From the Media Center at the Ministry of the Presidency, Felicia Valenzuela, InfoHub.
Graham's Hall primary student David Chowty and CV Noon's primary student Venetia Lal both copped this year's coveted top spot at the National Grade 6 Assessment, NGSA.
It became an emotionally charged atmosphere during the announcement of the NGSA results as each student learned of their successful performance and ranking at this year's exam.
I didn't expect this to happen, but I'm glad. First of all, I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for guiding me through this and giving me the wisdom. I also want to thank my teacher, Miss Edna Daniels, who really worked hard with us. Well, she really dedicated her time and energy into putting all of this into us, and I just want to thank her and my parents, all the teachers of Grimsall Primary who supported me, and my fellow colleagues.
Really excited.
And how did you prepare for the exam?
Well, I started in grade 4. I revised. My parents helped me. My teachers. I went to lessons.
The 11 and 12-year-old students had big dreams for their futures, ranging from pediatric care to robotics, to one day becoming the president of Guyana.
I'm very happy, very excited. Revise a lot and study on the work because the exam isn't all that easy.
Happy because I worked hard to achieve my goals, and my parents will be really happy because they put so much effort. We stayed up late in the nights. I don't know how to explain it, but I know that my whole family will be proud because of all the hard work I put into it and so on. Well, I want to become the next president to help the world to make it a better place.
I'm surprised and excited. I had a lot of encouragement from my parents and my sisters and my teachers.
Shocking because when I went into the exam, I didn't know I was gonna do this good. The top 10. This is amazing.
I was expecting it because I was very confident in myself because I had my teachers who inspired me to do well and study every day. But I'm still excited.
And how did you really prepare for the exam?
Well, I came early to school. My teachers came early. They let us revise all the work that we did so far, and I studied every day.
I'm very elated.
What did you do in preparation for the exam?
Well, there was a lot of hard work involved.
I'm really, really excited, and I didn't really think I would make it to the top 10. Yeah, I think my family will be proud and my teachers will be proud too.
What do you think you want to be when you grow up?
I would actually like to do robotics when I grow up.
Really excited, like very.
How are you preparing?
I did not think I would get in top 10. I knew I would get QC, but not in top 10. I worked a lot and I studied very hard. My parents helped me a lot, and my siblings, and my teacher, Sir Kelvin.
Speaking exclusively to InfoHub, Malene Crandon, who was a well of emotion, said she just wanted to make her parents proud.
I'm very excited, overjoyed. I have tears of joy in my eyes. I just know my family will be proud. My teacher, I know she's proud. Sure, the entire school is proud. I can't wait to go home and boast.
I'm happy. I didn't expect to get QC, but I really wanted to go.
I'm very excited to know this.
How hard you work or what you did?
I would revise late at nights after I finished my homework. I would sometimes wake up in the morning to do the revision.
Natisha Isaacs for InfoHub.
Meantime, there has been a 4% improvement in mathematics at this year's National Grade 6 assessment. The Ministry of Education has credited the National Mathematics Camps for this success.
The benefits of the Ministry of Education's math camps are being seen as there has been a marked improvement in the overall performance of students in mathematics at the 2019 National Grade 6 assessment.
This year, we have seen improved performance in mathematics in all of the regions, with the most notable improvement being in regions 2, 3, and 8. And I really am pleased to see that in the particular case of Region 8, they've actually doubled their performance from last year.
A look at the results also indicates that efforts to ensure education is delivered to every Guyanese child are bearing fruit.
We have also noticed that in 10 of the 11 administrative districts, the 10 administrative regions, and of course Georgetown, candidates were able to secure places at the top 5 secondary schools in the capital city of our beautiful country. This, of course, is a good sign and certainly an indicator that reducing the disparities in education delivery between the hinterland and the coastland region is beginning to take some form.
The top spot was shared by a male and a female candidate. Of the 166 top-performing students, 72 were male and 94 females. Reporting for InfoHub, Nikosi Bruce.
One of this year's top performers in the National Grade 6 Assessment, Dave Chowty, attends Graham's Hall Primary. However, this isn't the first time the East Coast Primary coveted the top position.
Established by the Moravian Church in 1918, Graham's Hall Primary School has been making waves at the National Grade 6 Assessment for the past few years. The school has been known to produce several top performers at the NGSA. Back in 2012, Michael Bhopal tied for first place with Mays Primary School student Ramesh Gir with 547 marks. Speaking to InfoHub, headmistress of Graham's Hall Primary School, Lydia Ram, expressed her satisfaction at this year's NGSA's results. She noted that both teachers and students showed tremendous dedication.
Lots of hard work, lots of revision, lots of construction. Teachers were constructing test questions, researching. They were not basically looking or using the past exam papers because they would have already exhausted using those papers for the last 2 terms. It was a constant working Sunday to Sunday. For the last 2 months, teachers were asking to come into school to work.
This dedication, she said, was matched equally by the students who were willing to put in the extra work. Grade 6 teacher Edna Daniels, who has been with the institution for 17 years, credited this year's NGSA's results to a lot of hard work.
I don't depend on textbooks alone. I believe in research because you can't find everything in the textbook. So I do lots of research, extensive research. And I also believe in peer tutoring.
I didn't expect this to happen, but I'm glad.
A day after receiving the great news, a somber Dave Chowty reflects on the journey ahead to secondary school.
I just expect to go there and do good, keep up the standard. That's basically it.
In addition to Chowty, 2 other students from Graham's Hall Primary School attained positions in the top 1%. They were Ria Chibilal and Juliana Prasad. For InfoHub, Anara Khan.
On Friday, the InfoHub team visited Essequibo and witnessed the celebration of a school, CV Noons Primary, and the region following the recent success of top student Venetia Lal.
CV Noons Primary School in Anna Regina, Essequibo Coast, has reclaimed its spot as top performer of the region. Formerly the Anna Regina Primary School, CV Noons was renamed in honor of former headmaster and Minister of Education Cedric Vernon Noons during the early 2000s. Noons was credited with the transformation of the education system. This year, CV Noons has produced the top performer of the National Grade 6 Assessment. Venetia Lala, bubbly 11-year-old, is the only child of her parents. At her school on Friday, students and teachers were jubilant. The 6th graders were saying their customary goodbyes, affixing their signatures in each other's uniforms. Venetia was part of all the excitement, a celebration, she said, after hard work.
I've been studying 7 years for a National Grade 6 Assessment. It all began when I was so little. So I did study hard. Well, my schedule was I wake up at 6, I go to school at 8, my mom comes to see me at 12, I go home at 2:30, I go to lessons at 3, I come home at 6, I go to dance class, 6:30, and I come home about 7, and I study for an hour, and then I go to bed at 8.
But despite her busy schedule, Venetia's mom said her daughter has made time to give back to the community. This simple country girl refused her father's offer to attend a private school.
She's jolly, she's happy, she's a happy child. She loves to be part of public arrangements, no private arrangements. Because like I would have told earlier that her father had wanted her to be part of the public school facility. The private schools. But she said no, it's a no to that. She wanted to be part of the public schools.
The school's performance at this year's examination could certainly not have been possible without the input of Deputy Headmistress Miss Bindawati Ketwaru. The acting head said she took the grade 6 hibiscus students under her wings when they were in the 4th grade. The potential she saw was great.
We would have came back here with our own experience, myself and other teachers, and we have decided to work hard, to apply what we know, to ensure that this school becomes successful.
The success of CV Noons can be credited too to the efforts of the region's education department. Regional Education Officer Nicola Matthews said the school was the hub of the Ministry of Education's Gifted program, which targeted students with special academic abilities. CV Noons had 4 students in the program, who all placed in the region's top 10.
I think the reason why we have seen such improvement is because of the input of the Department of Education. On numerous occasions, we will visit CV Noons and have discussion with the teachers and to show them how important it is to work together for the benefit of the children. And I think the teachers have listened to us, and they've been doing that. CV Noons was also one of the hubs for our maths camp. And I can tell you the teachers were coming out and they were very supportive. So it was no surprise to me that they're in the top 10, but I can tell you, I was very, very, very happy that they are placed in the top of the entire country.
Venetia's classmates, including her best friend Gavasha Sindhar Paul, secured the coveted top spots.
Well, I feel very happy to achieve Queen's College, and to get that school I worked very, very hard. I studied late at night, and I would also be studying with my father. He would be asking me questions random from books. And I also played a little because my mother told me that if I played and if I did work and I didn't play, I could become a dull girl.
I feel really relieved and happy since I have waited for this results for a long time. I worked really, really hard, and I studied late at nights. Took a lot of extra lessons.
I revise a lot of books and I write my best.
The excitement has spilled over into the community. Kamalawati Ramesh, fondly known as Auntie Muda, has been selling in front of the school for over 2 decades. She was overwhelmed with emotion when InfoHub spoke to her.
And I am proud of the school. I am very happy. I'm happy because I know the child. That's the reason Yes, I am very happy because I know the child of the school and she going to the same Mandiri we going. So I am proud of she.
Other Essequibians feel equally happy.
I feel happy because the student lift up the Essequibo, and I feel happy about it. That I would always encourage other children to just focus on their education.
Most people spend quality times with their children because they want the children to become somebody great, because education is better than silver and gold. When you have education, you can go anywhere and achieve some great work, As a family, you spend quality time with the kids.
The parents of the girl from CV News, I can't really remember her name. I think they ought to be proud, and I think that other parents should take example because mostly parents, they really depend on teachers alone to do the job. But I think learning should start from home, should begin from home. And I believe that when these kids come from school, parents are supposed to partake in homeworks and assignments and this stuff, help motivate their kids so that they could, be successful.
Minister of Business Himraj Rajkumar visited the region on Friday to award top performers of several primary schools. A former student of the Sadi Primary School, Minister Rajkumar said he was extremely proud of the performance of the region, particularly CV Noons.
I am very happy because this is not the first time Region 2 would have produced the top student in the National Grade 6 examinations. We have had several in the past. So we've been doing good. I am really happy to learn that out of the total of 536 marks, our student got 532, matching with the student from Region 4.
CV Noons gained the top place at the National Grade 6 assessment 11 years ago. Yogita Prasad, topped the country with a score of 558 marks. This year, it is Phoenicia's turn. Whose will it be next? Reporting for InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
On Wednesday, a ministerial team led by Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu conducted community meetings following walkabouts in several villages on the east coast of the Demerara. The Prime Minister gave the assurance that reconnecting with communities is paramount to the coalition government. He was speaking with residents of Haslington, Golden Grove, and Nabakalis, where himself and several other ministers addressed issues that exist within these communities.
The Prime Minister expressed that while others may think of the government's efforts to meet the people as a waste of time, the exercise has reaped many benefits.
Some have called this a kind of a circus, that you're going to make publicity, that you're only reaching out now because you have some problems, political problems, such as the no confidence vote. But I want to refute that. I want to say that this is part and parcel of our method of governance.
At the meeting held at the Golden Grove Primary School, issues related to housing, agriculture, and job and business opportunities for youths were raised. Ministers assured the residents that the government is working swiftly to address these issues.
I want to make it clear that your government, His Excellency, is indeed committed to solving all the housing issues. I can boldly say that this government inherited a huge backlog in housing. What used to be happening actually is that, you were allowed to apply for house lots, and the reality was that there wasn't house lots available.
Among the many things that the government promised during the campaign of 2015 is that we will provide our pensioners with $20,000, and we have fulfilled that promise.
Meantime, the minister within the Ministry of Agriculture, Valerie Adams-Yearwood, disclosed that programs in various sectors will be materialized within the shortest possible time, such as the resuscitation of farming in the villages.
One of the things the president would like to see is the farmlands in the villages reactivated, have farming done again. And I can tell you this because when I was appointed minister responsible for rural affairs, in our initial conversation, this is one of the visions he shared.
For InfoHub, Delicia Haynes.
One good term deserves another. This sentiment was expressed by Minister of Public Security Kemraj Ramjatan as he highlighted the developments achieved under the coalition administration at a community gathering in Enmore, East Coast, Demerara.
Minister Ramjatan was at the time addressing residents at a community meeting at the Enmore Hope Primary School, along with several others ministers of the government. The minister told residents that more development took place under the coalition government in 4 years than the 23 years under the opposition.
One good term deserves another. And it is important then that you understand that what we have started in 2015, we must ensure that we continue right through to 2025. We are going to have a better day. A better day is coming. That oil and gas revenue stream is going to make Guyana the richest country in America. And we will take that money and ensure that public servants get a better deal.
Minister of Social Protection Amna Ali urged residents to continue to support development.
We must now embrace the issues and competence. And I can tell you that if we embrace issues and competence, we will return this government to office so that it can continue to develop your community, your region, and your country.
Minister of Social Cohesion Dr. George Norton noted that the administration is confident in the direction it is taking the country ensuring that young people have access to quality education.
You have an administration that is going to support your children in their academic trust so that they can achieve the best, because this administration will stop at nothing to give your children the best chances in improving their educational standards.
Minister of Communities Ronald Bulkan, Minister of Business Hemraj Ramkumar, and newly appointed Minister of Public Infrastructure Jaipal Sharma were also present at the meeting. Isaiah Braffett for InfoHub.
In this week's post-cabinet roundup, the Ministry of Social Protection sounds a warning against the spread of misinformation. Cabinet status is clarified, and we give an update on the Suriname's Piracy Commission of Inquiry.
Cabinet met on July 2. Director General of the Ministry of the Presidency, Joseph Harmon, said Cabinet was alerted to false information being peddled that the Social Protection Ministry was handing out cash to citizens.
The Minister indicated that this information was patently false and that it was the cause of much chaos and confusion at the Ministry. She requested that the public should be so informed. The Minister also indicated that the Ministry was conducting investigations with respect to the source of the fake news and false information.
The police is investigating this issue. The Restorative Justice Bill 2019, the Adoption of Children Amendment Bill 2019, and the Narcotics and Psychotropic Substances Control Amendment Bill 2019, DG Harmon said, have been approved and will be laid before the National Assembly for passage. The latter bill is the government's first step, he says, towards decriminalizing marijuana usage.
I believe that it is something which our judiciary can in fact take notice of. We're not saying that they have to do it, but we're saying that they can take notice of it. And so in the guidelines which they use for sentencing, that this can be taken into consideration, and the fact that this is the way the law is moving.
DG Harmon also clarified the status of Cabinet and its functionality. This follows the ruling by the Caribbean Court of Justice.
Article 106, 107 speaks to the President and the government remaining in office. And so this question of clarification, whether the Cabinet meets or not, is in fact one of the submissions that's made to the CCJ for them to give clarity to it. So we will await the clarification of the CCJ on that matter.
DG Harmon explained that the 2-month-long Suriname Piracy Attack Commission of Inquiry will shed light on several key issues. It will entail conducting extensive interviews and traveling to Suriname to gather evidence by Commissioner Dr. Rishi Sri Thakur.
He will determine whether, in fact, what other evidence is needed for him to arrive at his findings. So I think it is important for us as a nation that when wrongs are committed, when lives are lost, that we must have some closure to it for the family of the deceased persons and for the nation as a whole, that we can actually bring these things to conclusion.
It was also revealed by the Director General that there have been no adverse reactions from companies following alleged threats by the opposition leader, Bar Javdeo.
We have not been advised by any of the foreign companies that operate in Guyana that they feel threatened by any such statement, and that as a result of that, they have decided not to do something which they had decided they will do. So I just want to give the assurance to all that we have a president, we have a government that's functioning, and that it is the responsibility and the duty of this government to ensure that the environment is there which allows for foreign companies to operate in this country and operate under conditions of peace and security.
Cabinet also gave its no objection to several contracts. These include one for much-needed internal rehabilitation works at the border market and another for the acquisition of a $17 million water ambulance for Berbice riverine communities. That's all for Cabinet Roundup.
Also on Thursday, Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu stated unequivocally that a 4-year track record of rapid development under the coalition government ensures that it will not fall.
Speaking at a community meeting yesterday, the Prime Minister reminded residents of Golden Grove, Haslington and Nabakalis that after being elected in 2015, the government hit the ground running from day one. He explained the improvements seen across all sectors will ensure the government can withstand any attempts to undermine it.
This government will not fall. This government will not fail. This government will not falter. This is government.
Prime Minister Nagamutu highlighted that this community meeting is part of several planned engagements to meet with all citizens of Guyana at the grassroots level.
We plan this outreach as part of a wider outreach throughout Guyana, as what you call the mobile government. This is a government on wheels. It is going to the government, to the people, rather than people coming to the government.
PM Nagamutu stressed the importance of house-to-house registration and the youth vote.
This election is not about the past. This election is about the future. It's about our young people. That young people think differently than the older generation. They're not obsessed by racism and the color of skin and the texture of hair. They're not infected with the bias that has to do with gender prejudices. Young people are more open and liberal, and they see a world in which all are one. You must have fresh voter registration.
The government's team was comprised of Minister of State Don Hastings-Williams, Minister of Public Health Valda Lawrence, Minister within the Ministry of Agriculture with the responsibility for rural affairs Valerie Adams-Yearwood, and Minister within the Ministry of Communities with the responsibility for housing Annette Ferguson. For InfoHub, Rebecca Ganesh.
The second edition of the Guyana Trade and Investment Exhibition, Gaitai, was on Wednesday launched at the Artichung Conference Center.
With a primary focus on export and investment, the event will be held between February 13 and 15, 2020. An official opening ceremony was held on Wednesday morning at the Artichung Convention Center. Minister of Business Himraj Rajkumar said the event seeks to improve its standards in the business sector.
The locally produced goods will find themselves in international markets. For this to be realized, we need more than a fair trade. It will take a concerted effort from every policymakers as well as the private sector to ensure that local producers are able to competitively access international market.
The minister said a program which will address an export strategy for Guyana will come on stream in another 6 months' time.
While Gaitai focus on creating opportunities for export-ready businesses, it's up to those exhibitors to commit to the entire process leading to the actual event. This entails various training and capacity building initiatives that will help our exhibitors to maximize the benefits from participating in Gaitai.
Gaitai's objectives are to produce packaged local investment opportunities for foreign direct investment and local investment, to prepare and promote export-ready firms to export markets, and to highlight Guyana as a preferred destination for business. Reporting for InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
The government is serious about development in information and communications technology, and in another show of this commitment, opened another ICT laboratory, this time at the Gibraltar Courtland Primary School in Region 6.
The ICT lab comes as the Ministry of Education continues to upgrade educational facilities nationwide to improve student performance. Head teacher of the Gibraltar Courtland Primary School, Melanie Thomas, remarked that the new ICT lab will make a positive impact on the learning outcomes of the students.
The business of molding and inspiring our pupils has been made a little easier with the construction and consequent completion of this lovely information technology lab.
Minister of Education Dr. Nicolette Henry explained the vital nature of ICT-enabled learning in 21st century classrooms.
Computer-enabled learning is very important for 21st century education. And so I am pleased to be here this afternoon to commission the IT lab. But I'm pleased also because I know that this is the beginning of a great journey. And I know that a lot of positives will come out of this project.
The lab was one of several others furnished in schools across Guyana in 2019. In excess of $128 million was spent on educational initiatives in Region 5 and 6 over the last few weeks. This new ICT lab is in keeping with the ministry's efforts to modernize education delivery and learning environments. It is also in keeping with the coalition government's overall objective of making Guyana a digital state. Natisha Isaacs for InfoHub.
And on this week's Small Business Focus, we meet 27-year-old Kenisha Bess, a teacher and new mother. The enterprising young woman started her own venture, Classroom Creations, that assists both students and teachers.
Kenisha Bess has been teaching for the past 7 years, and she recognized the need for and the importance of teaching aids both in the classroom and at home, and started a business.
Classroom Creations was basically created so that we could help teachers and students. We provide teaching aids, learning aids, even learning aids for children, because we want to create a print-friendly environment.
Kenisha customizes books and teaching and learning aids according to the requests made by the customer.
This is our customized workbook I'm working on for a student. It has the alphabet, practice for alphabet, and at the end they write a word that goes with whatever letter. It also has numbers, months of the year, and days of the week. Parents request different things, as I said, in their child's workbook, so whatever they request, that's what I make.
The young teacher brought her plan to fruition with some aid from the internet.
I went online and I found this app that allows you to create the dots. You know, teachers sit every day, we dot the book, so the children could learn to write their names or even numbers. So instead of them dotting, we create that with the child name, customize it to the child's name, numbers, days of the weeks, whatever teachers want dotted in that book, we create it.
Bess operates her business from home and caters to many parents and teachers who request her services. She can be contacted on her Facebook page, Classroom Creations, and on telephone number 592-274-0245. She also does free delivery in Georgetown and in Linden. For InfoHub, Natasha Smith.
This has been InfoHub Recap. Remember to subscribe to our website for more stories and follow us on our social media platforms. Have a safe and enjoyable weekend. Goodbye.